Michigan beats Maryland 79-66 in the Big Ten tournament. Some Friday a.m. into the afternoon action. The Wolverines got started at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. They beat Maryland 79-66. And the story of the day was really some outstanding play by a couple players for the Wolverines. You see there, Mike Smith, 19 points, but 15 assists, which is a Big Ten tournament record. Franz Wagner also kicks in 16 points on the other side of things for Michigan. A couple of their star players were held certainly in check. Isaiah Livers goes scoreless, and Hunter Dickinson is effective, but certainly didn't star the day. He ends up with 6 points in the day on 3 of 5 shooting. So you see the score there. Talk about some of the star players in Smith and, of course, Hunter Dickinson, Isaiah Livers. Not really needed to make an impact in this quarterfinal Big Ten game. 1 seed Wolverines versus the 8 seed Maryland Terrapins. Want to get your one-word reaction from today's win over Maryland. Go down in the comments. I would like to know your one-word reaction. I'm going to give mine as exciting, to be frankly, because Michigan was down early in this game, and they came roaring back the last few minutes of the first half. And then when Juwan Howard we'll talk about that second, Juwan Howard actually got ejected. Talk about this coming up. The team got a little spark that maybe we weren't expecting to see. Talking some about Juwan Howard being ejected. It is, frankly, surprising because he's a very mild-mannered coach. I don't really know if I've ever even seen him yell for more than a few words in a game at one of his players or at the refs. He's not certainly a fiery guy like Jim Harbaugh used to be, but Juwan Howard ejected with about 11 minutes left in the second half with the Michigan up 10. Felt like they were about to pull away, and we don't know who he was yelling at. What we looked at in the broadcast was that Howard started to yell at his own players about potentially some people, some players going at it, drawing a little bit. This happened on a commercial break of the game, so they had a few angles, came back to from a commercial break, and were explaining to us from the broadcast. But he was talking to one of his players, and it seemed like either a Maryland coach or player said something that made Juwan go absolutely ballistic, had to be held back by his assistant coaches and some players multiple times from trying to go after the Maryland bench there with 11 minutes. Maryland then scored 5 straight points to cut it to a 5-point game. Michigan countered with 8 straight of their own. Assistant coach Phil Martelli. Everyone remembers Phil Martelli, St. John's coach. He's been with Michigan as Juwan's top assistant the last couple of seasons. He was a steady hand, right? He was definitely the steady hand in the second half. It was the last 11 minutes, although Maryland used the ejection of Howard to get out to a little hot streak, scored in a couple possessions, 5 straight points, cut it to 5, but Phil Martelli kept things rolling, and you see the score there. Michigan is a 79-66 winner over the Maryland Terrapins, who absolutely beat down Michigan State Spartans yesterday in the 8-9 play-in game. I think Mike Smith's day was certainly spectacular from my perspective, and really excited to see what Michigan did in the end of the first half. They were very sluggish early on, not getting off to a hot start at all. The last few minutes of the second half, Michigan went on, I think it was a 14-2 run to end the first half, up 2 at the half, and they hold on, win this one by 13. Final score there, 79-66. So, game starting right now. If you watch this later in the day on Friday, early Saturday in the morning, you already know the winner of this one. But I don't, not yet. I'm filming the second the game is over. Ohio State is playing Purdue right now. So we'll go to that one in a second. But I want to know from you guys, will this win today lock up a number 1 seed for the Wolverines? Go down in the comments section. Give me a Y if yes. Give me an N for no. I think it's a foregone conclusion that Michigan is the number 1 seed today. So I'm going to go ahead and vote yes, type my Y below. But had they lost that one, I think it would have been actually potentially a little murky, losing 3 of their last 4 games had they lost today. But with the victory, Michigan gets that win in the Big Ten tournament. I think absolutely yes, this locks up a number 1 seed for Juwan Howard in his second season. Fun fact, as I told you the other day on one of the shows, Michigan has only had a number 1 seed, the last number 1 seed prior to this year in the NCAA tournament. Juwan Howard's second year as a Wolverines player in 1993. All the way forward to 2021, 28 years later, they will be a number 1 seed, in my opinion, again, when the tournament announcement is made Sunday evening. Let's take a look at Mike Smith. The transfer point guard has been a star for this team, and I really think his play has just been phenomenal all season. Nothing like today, though. 18 points, 15 assists. Big Ten tournament record, 5 rebounds. Didn't shoot the lights out, 6 of 14, but he made an impact. It was certainly all the accolades that are coming at him are well-deserved. He played his butt off, and I really am excited to see what we get out of him. Point guard play in these tournaments is absolutely needed. And if you've seen the last decade, 15 years, outstanding point guard play can take a team that maybe isn't the best team in the country, the most talented, and propel them into the Final Four and potentially a championship game. So with that Purdue-Ohio State game going on right now, Michigan will face the winner of that 4 and 5 seed matchup. Going to happen tomorrow, Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern is the time of that game as a tip-off for that one. These games have been on ESPN, or Big Ten Network. Saturday, Sunday, we finally get back to the Big Boy Network, so you don't have to, if you're out of the state of Michigan, out of the Midwest, don't have to scour the cable system to figure out what channel Big Ten Network is on. So let's take a deeper dive on the stats. Who are some of the leaders today for the Wolverines? We mentioned Mike Smith, 18 points for the day. Franz Wagner was the leading scorer for most of the game. Smith kind of exploded down the stretch for the Wolverines. Wagner ends up 7 of 12 shooting on the day. He also had 4 rebounds and 2 assists. Mike Smith, as we said, the big 18 points and then 15 assists. Eli Brooks returning from injury. That was huge. That was big time. He got the start, and then reserve backup Shawnee Brown, 10 points he kicked in. Isaiah Livers, maybe Michigan's best player. I know some people will say Hunter Dickinson, held scoreless, yet Michigan still gets a double-digit victory. Big time from the Wolverines. Excited to see that we got a lot of different players that don't normally explode for a ton of points. Mike Smith, he's not used to scoring 18 points or really even 15 assists a game. And then you got Shawnee Brown and some others chipping in double digits. So exciting to see. Ohio State or Purdue will be the next matchup. Again, apologies if you're watching this after the game is over, late in the day on Friday or potentially early Saturday. You already know the opponent, but it's Ohio State, it's Purdue. I don't really have a preference in who Michigan plays, but it'd always be nice to get another win over Ohio State in basketball since it hasn't been going our way in football for the last little bit. So that is what we are dealing with for the Wolverines. Ohio State or Purdue will be the matchup. And then I think everyone's looking forward to getting another shake at Illinois, right? That game potentially will happen on Sunday afternoon if Michigan can beat Ohio State or Purdue, and then Illinois holds court in their side of the bracket, which many expect them to do. So 79-66 is your final. I want to give you guys one last look at the different stats. Mike Smith, 19 points, or is it 19? Yeah, 19 points, 15 assists, 5 rebounds. 5 rebounds away from a triple-double for the transfer point guard. Franz Wagner, 16 points, 4 rebounds. And then Eli Brooks, making his return, was in the starting lineup, 16 points. Having him back was absolutely necessary to have any success in the deep into the Big Ten tournament and, of course, into the NCAA tournament, which gets started next weekend. So I'll ask you guys this question. Tomorrow's game, no matter who it is, will Michigan win this one? Type Y for yes. I'm sorry, type 1 for yes. Type 2 for no. So we asked you a Y or N earlier. This one, switching it up so we can see what you guys think in the comments. Type 1 for yes. Type 2 for no if you think the Wolverines will win their Big Ten semifinal matchups on Saturday.